Hello and welcome to another episode of Between the Studs. I'm your host Mark. Today I'm joined by Garrett.
Hey guys.
And Steven.
How's everybody doing?
The hosts and cast of The Joy of Building here for a...
Only the best live stream on the internet.
Whoa.
Yep.
Wait a minute. There's the morning brick here too, guys.
Bunch of chumps.
Okay, no, I'm just kidding.
We're a little biased here. That's okay.
Yeah,
But
dream team over here.
so this isn't a live stream. This is a Between the Studs.
Yes.
We're talking about a very interesting theme. And I need two very positive, energetic, building guys to join me on this quest. Or should I say this journey to the West?
I would say it's a journey to the West.
Yeah.
Journey to the best Lego theme.
Journey to the best Lego. So this is probably the most underrated Lego theme that nobody's really ever heard of or even bothers to look into.
Matt and I, yeah.
But we have, and it has changed our lives forever. It's changed the trajectory of our
Destinies.
Journey. Yeah,
The trajectory of our wallets.
Destinies. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no.
Oh, yeah.
For sure, especially like all three of us.
Yeah.
We'll get into that for sure. But
We'll get into
what is this theme? What is this crazy adventure we've all had?
We are talking about Monkie Kid.
That's it.
It is so cool.
It is the theme, and this has been going on for a number of years. We're actually we're dialing it back to 2020, which is when this theme first came out.
This is all the first wave in front of us.
Exactly. That's what we got all on the table here in front of us, and you know. We missed out. A lot of it, I think all three of us kind of missed the bus initially.
I think the vast majority of the Lego community, except for a few, I can get into that, completely skipped this theme.
Yeah.
Utterly skipped it.
Well, it came out in 2020. It actually came out in China first.
Yep.
And then later in the year, it came out in the United States on the show and the sets. And so we weren't the first ones to be introduced to us. This wasn't targeted for the United States or Europe market. It was actually targeted for Asia, China. And so that's probably why it might have not been as on our radar. And so that's kind of an interesting perspective, given that Lego is typically worldwide or even U.S. kind of focused. So
well, that's why I would say a lot of people may not even know this theme exists, because the first year it was sold in U.S. Lego stores.
Yeah.
But as of now, they're not sold in the United States at all.
Not really.
The only way to get Lego Monkie Kid sets is through Lego Shop at Home website or on AtlantaBrickCo.com.
Yeah, exactly.
Those are really your only two options.
We've got a couple of them here at the store.
Or Bricklink,
or sometimes Bricklink or eBay if you're lucky.
If you want to pay international shipping.
Yeah.
That's true.
So this is somewhat of a rare, hard to find thing, and we're grateful to have Atlanta Brickco to work here and be able to access them in these like Garrett has. But so like impressions for the theme. Let's dive into it specifically. Garrett, when did you discover Monkie Kid? When did you know about it? When did you get into it? What's the story?
The first Monkie Kid set I ever got or even saw, I didn't know this theme existed until the beginning of 2023.
Yeah.
I was randomly working one day, and then somebody brought in this set of this, probably 1.5 foot tall, almost 2 foot tall, glow-in-the-dark skeletal creature.
Yes.
With these big pincers and these giant metallic vinyl banners on the back of it.
Super mech thing.
And I was like, what is this set? This thing is insane. All the white parts on it were glow-in-the-dark. And it was the Monkie Kid Bone Demon.
Yes.
It is a set from 2022. It is probably one of the coolest Lego creature things they've ever done.
It's insane.
But I bought it on a whim just because it looked so cool. Didn't know anything about Monkie Kid. Didn't even look at the show. Just bought that and liked it. And then slowly, as I started seeing more of that Monkie Kid logo, I was like, well, the Bone Demon was, probably one of my favorite builds. So let's try something else. So, then I got the our big warrior mech here, and that sold me on the theme after that.
Yeah, it was. You were sliding downhill after that.
The Bone Demon was cool, and then I got that mech, and that is the best mech Lego's ever made.
Yeah, it's awesome. These big vehicles and creatures are larger than life. They make Ninjago and Next Knights look small by comparison. It's amazing.
It's something I never something for if I was a kid and these were coming out, oh my god, I'd be all over them. But even as an adult, these builds are very involved. They're very colorful and creative.
Lots of great parts.
Honestly, it's harder to find Monkie Kid now, but it's priced really well.
Yeah, especially in the markets it's intended for.
Yeah.
This is a fantastic deal across the board.
Most Monkie Kid sets, they'll be maybe 1,000 pieces, but maybe $60 to $70.
Yeah.
They're decently priced.
Yeah, they're
It's finding them on the aftermarket. That's a little
finding
rougher.
them is another thing.
Yeah.
But they were made to be affordable and be accessible and have tons of pieces and build quality. But Steven, what was your introduction to Monkie Kid? What was your first reaction to seeing this theme, and when do you even have any of these sets?
Well, traditionally, anybody who watches this show will know that I don't keep up with new releases very well.
Really.
As is it's part of my whole identity. Just kidding.
It's your tradition.
No, it's tradition, yeah. No, I heard about this first from none other than Moto, a good friend of ours, Moto. Shout out to Moto, who was on season 2 of Lego Masters, and he sang its praises to the roof. He couldn't speak higher enough of it. He absolutely loved the theme, adored it, and was trying to advocate for it in the community. Like, people are missing this. People are like, Monkie Kid? Oh, okay. And then I took a closer look. I bought the City of Lanterns.
Yep.
After a while ago, we did a review of our favorite Lego sets. And, what's his name? Joe brought his Ninjago City Gardens, which I thought was insane. But I also thought the price was a little insane. Yeah. So I got the Monkie Kid City of Lanterns, which was
a fraction of the price.
A fraction of the price, and just as cool looking. And I customized it. I built it in Sentai City, and I saw like this theme has a ton of potential, and that's kind of how I recognize it. It's got a ton of potential. You can do fun stuff with it.
Yeah, you can build it.
You can build it. You can use the parts. There's tons of really cool. Some of the best stickers ever are in Monkie Kid, in my opinion. And I know people hate on
the
stickers.
graphic design,
the designs, the Easter eggs. There's like Znaps and like Time Cruisers.
A lot of cool references.
And a bunch of really like deep dive nerdy references are hidden throughout this whole theme. So it's a very real acknowledgement of Lego, and I think its absence on the market was probably the reason for me and everybody else not really paying attention for it.
Yeah.
But I'm glad I have, and looking at the sets, I've always recommended them to people. A lot of people come into the store and they're like, I didn't even know this existed. This thing is great. It's only that much compared to like Ninjago or Star Wars, which are premium these days. So yeah, it's amazingly priced. It's way better than Exo Knights, and they got the orange. They got the trans orange. You see that?
Yeah, I was going to talk
way
about
better
that.
than Exo Knights, but yeah, that was my first introduction. I think was Moto, and buying the City of Lanterns is my first proper
set. So you
set.
own a couple of the Monkie Kid sets.
Yeah, I also own the boat. I regret taking it apart. I'd used it for pieces.
It's disheveled now. Yeah,
it's disheveled. So yeah, I'm gonna have to rebuild it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have the City of Lanterns. That's like my first, and well, I'm planning on getting more, but that was my first. So.
Yeah. And interestingly, my introduction to Monkie Kid, I saw it when it first came out because I do keep at least vaguely aware of the new releases. So when 2020 came around, we saw the sets. I actually saw them in the Lego store. I'm like, these are kind of wild. I was like, I don't really understand what they're trying to do with these, though.
Yeah.
I'm like, to me, it seemed too similar to Ninjago. It's very different, but I didn't know from the outside.
On the surface, it looks just like it.
First impressions, it looked like Ninjago 2.0. I'm like, why does this even exist? There's Ninjago right there. Yeah, so
another Ninjago replacement.
So ignorant me, but I did get a Bone Demon set.
Yes,
and it was slightly on sale. Back in when it was out, and I think I got it for maybe like $90, $80. It would have been a little bit cheaper than what it was retail for,
pretty good deal.
which is a great deal. And I took it apart to use the glow in dark pieces. However, I have all the figures, pieces, and stuff. I could rebuild it, and I think I will. But we haven't gotten that far in the story yet. We're going to be covering Wave 1 and the first year,
Wave
first
1,
season.
Season 1.
There's plenty to unpack here. But speaking of the show, that's probably what really sells these sets to the next level, because there's great parts, great design, great play features, but if you know the awesome story,
and seeing them in action,
a whole other story. So we talked about the theme.
Yep.
We all like cautious at first. Now we've all dived in. What's the show? Now, Garrett, you were the first one to scout this out for us. What were your impressions with the show?
So when I was down in Orlando I guess it was about a month and a half ago now.
Number of weeks ago.
I got another Monkie Kid set while I was down there. They had the evil macaque mech.
Oh, yeah.
Super cool one. I had never seen it, so I was like, well, I'm going to go ahead and snag this while I'm down here.
You've got mechs already.
I've got Monkie Kid mechs. They're all great, so let's get this one. And I was building it, and I was like, man, I've heard there's a Monkie Kid show. Like, we tried watching Dreams, and...
It was meh. Yeah.
We're not going to talk about that. We're talking about Monkie Kid.
Heard about a good show, yeah.
And
Ninjago Next Night's man.
I had heard about the show, and so I decided to look it up and decided, okay, well, there's a first movie type special to start off the show. It's like 45 minutes long, and I was like, well, why don't I just put it on and build the mech a little bit. I started watching it, and then completely put down all the pieces and just was watching this first episode like, whoa, this has no right being as good as it is.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a big anime fan, and if you disregard all the Lego aspects of the show, it's just a good anime.
Yeah.
Which is like
it's a good action cartoon.
really
yeah.
cool.
Extremely.
I randomly saw that first episode, and then I was like, okay, you guys have to see this. We have to talk about it. Why is nobody else talking about this?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so suddenly a watch party was scheduled. It took us a while to get there,
Yeah.
but we finally got a watch party. We
A lot of us.
watched the entire first season.
I think we were
In a session,
planning on watching the first like special, that 45-minute show,
Yeah.
and then we just went through the whole season, and none of us complained.
Yeah, it actually didn't take as long as
Not
other
at
things
all.
we've watched.
It's 120 minutes to watch the whole first season.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's like a long movie. You know, it's not too bad. But Steven, what was your initial impressions of the show, having dived into this at the watch party?
Okay, holy cow. I don't watch a lot of anime just in general. I've seen a couple things. I've seen a couple spoofs of anime, like Team 4 Star and stuff like that. I've watched some One Punch Man a little bit, so I've just sort of dabbled. I sort of dabble in genres.
On the fringes.
I'm on the fringes. I have an understanding of it, but I don't go deep dive into some devoted fan, like some devoted fans
Yeah.
will. But I love Lego media. I love the Lego movie. I also really enjoyed movies like Into the Spider-Verse and Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. And this
You have an
takes that.
appreciation for animation.
I love animation. I like action, and I don't mind kids shows. Some people are like, "That's for children." I don't care. But this crazy show was like nothing I had ever seen. I saw it at the watch party with you guys. I didn't have any early access or whatever, but I was absolutely blown away. The plot. Do you want to get into the plot or just my intro?
Just a short summary of the plot's fine, but
Okay, short summary of the plot is it's basically the Lego movie. Very similar.
yeah,
like
honestly.
it's the sort of hero's journey kind of thing.
Classic.
The mentor teaching. Very, very recognizable. You know what's going on pretty easily. But okay. Just for example, when we got into that intro, we paused 3 minutes in to a 40-minute thing, and we're like, whoa, we gotta get our bearings. We gotta figure, whoa, hold on to something. Because
just the song intro animation.
The song intro was mind-blowing. The animation was really fast. It was really fun. I had not seen anyone take that risk. Like, we're going to throw everything at the screen as fast as possible and trust that you guys pay attention and pick it up.
Yeah.
Like, wow.
Exactly.
It exceeded my expectations many times over. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't think we can sing the praises of the animation enough, because it's, you've seen Ninjago, you've seen Dreams, you've seen all the other Lego shows that are actually 3D animated and somewhat slow and clunky at best. I mean, honestly.
It's 2D.
And the stories are still fun. People love Ninjago, but it's actually harder for adults or non-fans to get into it, because it's just such a hard to digest medium. This is the opposite of that.
Yeah.
I think it's very
dive right in.
approachable. If you like cartoons at all, it's actually 2D animation mostly. And it is so dynamic, so stunning, and it's insane. So
That was going to be my next question, was what was y'all's opinion on it being 2D animated compared to traditional 3D that like all
So
other Lego
much
animated
better.
media is?
literally
so much
better
faster, so
than
much
the
better.
3D, kind of traditional Lego format. And so I agree with you guys.
I don't think anything beats like Lego movie animation quality.
That's the highest tier.
That's
But
the best. Yeah, there's
the
beats all.
2D animation itself, they're not quite like rubber hose characters, but like the fluidness and the expression that they're able to put into the characters is very nice.
And the expressions and emotions, these are really hard things to animate. They're very blocky. Lego guys are very stiff. Ask any stop and go animator. Lego is a bit of a challenge.
And I think that's part of why like they do a lot of 3D. Not only is it cheaper, but like it is a better medium probably for minifigs.
And production-wise,
But I do like how even in Monkie Kid, even though they're a lot more like rubbery minifigs,
They don't behave like minifigs at all.
they still, like, every now and then there's like a random moment where like somebody will get slapped and their head spins around and you see a double-sided head. And it's like, it's great little things like that.
There's Lego references.
Yeah.
It's not
There's
completely
so many.
devoid of Lego, but yeah. So.
Oh, can we talk about that? The show does that too. The sets reference Lego's Lego-ness, but the show does that. Like, for example, I think it was Red Sun, jumps into one of his vehicles and he's starting it up, and then there's a little sticky note on the corner that says 8+.
Yeah.
Like the set is 8+.
He's like, I can fly that.
I can fly this, like, yeah, exactly. There's the bombardment of little micro jokes and little micro references.
Lego Easter eggs.
Lego Easter eggs and Lego-ness. There's a scene where the Bull clones, these really cool villains who are actually surprisingly competent, there's a scene where they're getting manufactured, and there's this mold, and then it pours in and stamps it, and then stamps it. It's like
that's a minifigure, yeah.
It's minifig constructed.
They're being injected molded.
Injected molded minifigs.
It's great.
Countless little bits like that fill the show. It's amazing.
That's awesome. Yeah, to your point, Garrett, with the way that the characters act and interact, it's a lot more squish and stretch is the term used in animation.
Rubbery.
And that's something that you can't get if it's 3D modeled without looking really strange.
Yeah.
So the fact that they're a lot more mobile and dynamic.
They're able to do action shots where, the Monkey Kid is, swinging his staff and his arms are super long.
Yeah.
But it's just because the 2D smears. It makes that style of animation
the
flow
perspective
so much
is
better.
great. Yeah.
The 2D is way more forgiving for a crazy amount of animation.
Yeah.
Like, it's a cartoon. I can just turn off my brain. The more realistic you make it look with the CGI, with the correct sunlight and shading and everything.
And 3D shapes.
Here, you can have all different colors for shadows, and the movement can go all across the screen, and you don't care. You just enjoy it.
Yeah, we can't sing the praises enough. If you haven't seen it already, it's on Amazon. But let's get into the characters themselves. We mentioned Red Sun, but let's kind of I'll kind of lightning round these with you guys.
Yeah.
So because we got a long list of just the first season, and I'm going to read the name to you, ask you guys what you think. Just a brief, I like this character, is great. One of my favorite aspects was this. So let's talk about the Monkey Kid, quote Noodle Boy.
Noodle Boy.
He's actually voiced by the same guy who does Sokka and a bunch of other great characters. It's worth mentioning every voice actor in Monkey Kid is a famous anime or cartoon or video game actor.
They've all been doing it for years.
So yeah, it's amazing.
The cast was insanely good.
Monkey Kid, I had some thoughts on this, but I want to hear you, Garrett. What did you think about the Monkey Kid impressions and in the show?
So, your first impression to the Monkey Kid, I think, when the show first starts off, you're like, oh, he's a little dumb, brainless, guy. He's
a little bit.
He's very, he doesn't think before he does. He doesn't, he doesn't think.
Yeah,
I would say is his first impression.
He's letting the world happen to him.
Yeah, exactly. Impulsive, yeah.
But I think throughout the entire series, you do see this kind of struggle of he has been given this power, and he necessarily doesn't want it, or is coping with filling this role. And I think it is a cool concept that he is this kind of overpowered character, but maybe necessarily doesn't want to be that.
Yeah, it's interesting. There's a little bit of hesitation.
Yeah. I'm interested to see where that goes.
What do you think, Steven?
I liked it. I was getting a little bit of a Poe from Kung Fu Panda.
Yeah.
A little bit of that. Only Poe doesn't start out really strong by accident. Monkey Kid start out kind of by chance. Starts out, he's able to lift the staff.
Excalibur moment.
Holy cow, I'm the chosen one. Oh, this is crazy. I don't know if I want this. Yeah. So a lot of things going through his mind, but he's remarkably likable. He's a little incompetent, but you're rooting for him because he's clearly working hard. He loves the history of what he just ran into, kind of like Poe. He's really into the
he's a fan of
Five.
It.
He loves the Five, the team. So he's a big fan, kind of like that. So he's very easy to root for, surprisingly. But there's also some moments where he's got he did need to learn a little lesson there. He has shortcomings that keep him from being like a Mary Sue or somebody who just does it all great the first time. For example, he goes into this really high-powered car race, and he's driving this little three-wheeler buggy, a little tuk-tuk while he's up against
delivery vehicles.
These F1 cars, essentially. And it's quite hilarious. So sometimes he's completely out of his depth. He's really afraid sometimes. I don't know what to do. You can see it in his face, the terror of the situation. So he has some self-preservation, but you're always rooting for him. You're always cheering for the guy. And the voice acting again, perfect choice. Sokka mostly known from Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Jack Desan.
Is that his name?
Jack Desan, I believe.
We'll put it on the video. But yeah, great actor, great voice actor, perfect protagonist, frankly.
Yeah. When I first was going into the show, I kind of expected to be annoyed by this character and find him really like just the worst. But it was quite the opposite. I found him very endearing and fun. And one thing is he's a little hyper, but the pace of the episode kind of demands a lot of exposition and energy and a lot of battle and combat. So it makes perfect sense. Love the voice acting too. Such a great job. So.
It's like he could be an annoying character, but he doesn't have enough time to be.
No.
That's true. That's a good way of saying it.
It's a good balance. Yeah, they've done a really good job with the story in that regard. Second character I want to talk about briefly is May.
All right.
And that's Stephanie Se, I believe. Her last name is pronounced?
Se,
that's it. There you go. And she did the voice of May, but also the voice of Mo, Sandy's cat. So they actually filled in various things. But,
right here.
I like the character of May. I think she could be a little bit annoying too, but she's also really supportive of Monkie Kid and a great friend, and she also has her own journey to do with the sword and her family and expectations. But Steven, what do you think about May?
I was getting tough vibes a little bit, but not in the tough way. Kind of like in her backstory a little bit.
Like Avatar: The Last Airbender tough.
Yeah. That's correct. Yeah, sorry. From Avatar: The Last Airbender. Getting a little bit of that. But in this case, May, what's the word I'm looking for? She's super supportive. She's a really, really good friend. They kind of established
team member.
Great team member. Yeah, great team player. Very capable in the story. Very fun. A little bit hyperactive, kind of like very energetic.
Like
always with her phone and stuff like that.
Like Monkie Kid.
But she had some really good jokes, and she's also just a little sweetheart too. So like a good full package for everything, I think. So.
Exactly. A great feminine presence, but also not afraid to just dominate and do awesome.
Yeah, just wipe out the enemy.
What do you think about May, Garrett?
I think she is probably one of my favorite characters from the show.
Really?
I think she's really cool. I didn't think when I first started watching the show that this dynamic of two extremely hyperactive characters
this is a recipe for disaster,
because
right?
typically you have like one character who's like, you know, really hyperactive and can't focus, and you have one that's like a lot more calm and like
sensible,
focused,
grounded.
Yeah, but this, you have both of them who can't keep their brains straight on anything for more than 2 seconds.
Way too much coffee in video games.
But it honestly they play off each other so well with that. But then like when there's fight scenes, or like, you know, when like it really comes to it, they always have each other's back. They get serious about stuff, and like they may have this goofy, you know, nonsensical friendship, but you know they're both really cool. They play off each other really nice. And I want to see May fight more.
Yeah.
We didn't get to see a whole lot of it in the first season.
She does a lot of chase scenes with the bike.
There was a lot of like where she's about to fight, and like the big dragon energy like expands out of her, and then like Monkie Kid's like, I got this.
Or it cuts away, or something.
Or it cuts away, or the situation changes and they don't have to fight; they have to go chase something down or whatever.
There are many more seasons to talk about. So hopefully, May gets a chance to really let loose.
But I thought she was really cool. I really like her figure. I like this just white outfit with the dragon and
the Power Ranger.
It very much looks like a Power Ranger, like Sentai, like warrior suit.
Yeah, it's very cool. A magical outfit of sorts. Yeah. Character design has been great all throughout too.
I would say that was a little bit more of a slower episode where it was talking about like her family and the dragon.
A little bit of a filler episode, yeah.
But I honestly liked it because it showed that like, oh, she's not just like this sidekick. Like she's doing her own thing. She's got her own like problem she's like doing while he's dealing with being the Monkey King.
Yeah, depth of character.
Yeah, so it was cool.
Absolutely. And I would say that both the Monkie Kid and May have been excellently captured in minifig form.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Which is actually maybe a contrast to a couple we'll talk about later. We'll talk about that.
Yeah, one particular. Yeah.
Pigsy is the one that's coming to mind in that regard.
Pigsy's great.
But voiced by Dave B. Mitchell, I believe. And so Pigsy, we can we all say it?
Yeah,
it's Ed.
It's Ed!
Pigsy is Ed.
Oh my word, it's Ed. I've known Ed for 8 years. Okay,
and
since
worked with
the
him
store opened, and it's like they cut his entire character and then put him onto Pigsy, Mr. Pig or Chef Pigsy, I guess you could call him.
I don't need workers, I need soldiers.
I need soldiers. Yeah, he has so many funny lines. He's got like the rolled up sleeves and stuff. It's just
the white button down shirt,
the white button down. He owns a restaurant. He's always like doing fun stuff like that. But oh my word, he's exactly. If you've been to the store and if you met Ed, that's Pigsy. You met him.
Yeah.
Great jokes. Fun backstory as well. Mild backstory, but yeah, he's
So we
great.
all related to Pigsy in a way that we relate to
immediately related to him.
Yeah.
Pigsy would yell at you, make you feel bad, and then he'd give you a good trade-in price on your Lego.
That's exactly right.
Give you a bowl of noodles. Yeah.
They gave you a bowl of noodles. He also had like the "You're fired" line, like all the time, which we hear sometimes around here. It's so funny.
If you don't get back, you're fired. And
You're
it's
fired.
so funny.
I got a bad review.
Exactly. And you know he'll never fire Monkie Kid, but he always every day he's going to remind him that he's going to fire him.
But he has a softer side too.
Yeah.
You see the softer side. How you should have helped him out, you know.
I definitely see Pigsy as like Monkey Kid's dad, like his father figure.
Yeah,
that's what it's
one of them.
described
Yeah,
as.
basically.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
He's got everyone has like a family dynamic to him. Yeah, and that's kind of like either the cranky dad or cranky uncle.
Monkey Kid lives in the apartment above the shop.
Yeah.
You know,
He probably rents from him.
he was 2 minutes late and he just runs downstairs.
Yeah.
Don't fire me, Pigsy.
Don't fire me. He's just upstairs getting dressed.
But
oh, it's so fun.
Pigsy was a really fun character.
Now,
really
I will say, his character looks great in the show.
Yeah.
But the figure doesn't quite capture his essence to me. How do you guys feel about
The
that?
eyes are too close together. In the minifigure. He had a lot more expression in the show, I think. He was way more expressionable. I think his nose is also a little too large.
My biggest problem with the Pigsy fig, I really like having it. I think it's a really cool fig. I think a lot of the printing they do for him is honestly really cool.
The printing's good, yeah.
He's got a lot of unique figs. All the heads are the same, but like torso-wise, he's got some really funny, like this one, he's got like, it looks like Slim Jims in his pocket.
Yep.
But my biggest problem is he doesn't have a mouth.
I was just about to say that.
Yep.
And if he had
Pigsy's mouth is actually pretty large.
and if he had a mouth with a little bit of stubble around it, this would look very much like the one from the show.
Yeah, but without the mouth, it doesn't look as much.
I also think he looks better without this hat.
Yeah.
He's never wearing the hat in the show.
Or I think at the very beginning of an episode, he might be wearing a hat or
he's
something.
Like very rarely
Usually
wearing
without
it.
the hat, though. Yeah.
And I feel like the hat, it looks nice, it just makes him too tall compared to the other figs, even though they give him mid-legs.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pigsy is actually really short in the story, yeah. Interesting.
But he's a great character, and I do like his figs. I think it could be better.
Yeah, it wasn't as perfectly captured as some other ones.
Yeah.
But yeah. The next character, which we've referenced his cap before, but it's Sandy.
I was going to say, are we going to skip over Mo?
Who's a river troll. Mo is after Sandy, but he's technically a river troll, and he's gone to therapy, so he's no longer rage-filled. His beads don't blaze fire as he jumps upon his enemies, but no, he's really chill and kind now.
He's got his Adidas
He
pants
now drinks tea and buys therapy cats.
He's a kind gym bro. Yeah.
Yep, he's a gentle giant. Which is hilarious because in all the TV shows, the big strong guy is always this big hulking...
The big muscle...
bull in a china shop, right? But in this case, like... That's hilarious. Like, I went to anger management. Now I'm doing great with my therapy cats. It's like,
you know what I do to people who disrupt the peace? I serve them tea.
That's funny. It's literally Mr. T, right? Has gone to therapy, but he doesn't just not do anything in the show. Like if there's a big explosion, like he'll bear hug, tackle everybody, and then boom, he's
not inactive.
Shot. He's not inactive, and he also drives their boat around. So he's a very active part of the story, despite the fact that he rarely fights. Like I think he stops a truck once.
He's almost like the team management.
Kind of, yeah. He's the HR, but like a good HR, yeah. He's supporting everybody, and he's got a long history with Pigsley,
and Monkey King
as well. They know each other, yeah. But what a great big fig! Like they can be overdone sometimes a little bit, or underdone. I think big figs can be either one or the other. This is perfect. I love the color scheme. Like the figure itself is perfectly put from show to minifigure, in my opinion.
I think this is the best transitioned figure.
Oh yeah, easily.
It looks like he's ripped right out of the show.
Yeah, screenshotted and 3D molded.
I just love it. And he's cheap, too. He's like $20. You know, Hulk is like 30 or 40.
Yeah,
like,
he's one of the cheaper big figs now.
So this is a great bargain as a minifigure.
Expensive for a minifigure, but cheap for a big fig.
Yes.
For a big fig, good value. Yeah, for sure.
I think that's one we'll have to pick up eventually, Steve. We'll at the very end of the episode, we'll talk about what we need to buy.
Yeah.
But and actually, Garrett, most of these, we think we mentioned this already, most of these on the table are yours.
Yes.
We're just, with the exception of the Monkey King mech over there.
I didn't want to bring mine.
Yeah. But all these are Garrett's, these are all Garrett's figures, so thank you for bringing these in.
Of course, I had to show them off.
Yeah, they're amazing.
I don't know if we mentioned it, but Sandy's voice actor is also, I forget his name.
It's Patrick Seitz.
Okay, yes. Yeah. He is also the voice actor for Jiren in Dragon Ball Super.
One of the toughest villains you ever
Pretty
fought.
cool.
He's also in like a ton of video games.
Yeah.
He did characters in the God of War series.
Yep.
He did.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
I think he
cool.
was Ares, I believe. Yeah.
Oh,
anyway,
that's
so
fine. That's fine.
just some insane stuff.
His voice acting was really fun too. Like a perfect cast.
So basically, every single person that we've listed so far is voiced by
a well-named,
very famous video game or anime or TV show voice actor. So it's pretty cool. But Mo is Sandy's cat, who's right there.
Oh my God!
And
It's
Sandy
a cat with
has
a
a
mohawk.
dozen cats, but Mo is one of his favorite
maybe
cats.
dozens.
So
Mo is kind of their leader, sort of.
You see Mo every now and then.
Talk about like such a good Lego part.
Great. Custom molded cats, man.
This,
I mean, it's a bit like Scarfield. I think it's the
this
same mold as
originated
Scarfield.
from Lego Movie 2.
Yeah.
That mold, the cat with the mohawk. But this has just been dual molded with orange and that azure.
Yeah, light azure.
Oh, lately they've been making Sandy as a normal minifig, which is a big mistake. Like the big fig.
Yeah.
Although I'm sure by now most kids, if they have Monkie Kid sets, have this. So you don't need to keep making big figs over and over
I
again.
wonder if that's something to do with the show.
Maybe.
Or if it's just like a cost thing.
Not sure.
Maybe
but
he starts reducing in size.
Yeah,
I don't know.
that's possible. But I like him as a big fig. I think he works perfectly as a big fig. I hope they don't abandon that altogether.
I also wanted to point something out about Mo that I noticed in the first season is that we mentioned that Sandy never fights or like never uses any weapons or anything.
Or gets violent or whatever.
But I noticed in the first season, Mo's the one who does all that for Sandy.
Really?
In the first episode, he's like, Mo, go get the boat ready. And Mo's the one who gets the boat ready and activates all the rockets and whatever. And then in the episode with the Spider Queen where they have like the tiny speedboat, Mo's on top manning the cannon.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So Sandy doesn't use any of the weapons.
So
But
Sandy's on a peaceful trip, but Mo
is not.
Yeah, Mo doesn't have the safety on. We'll put it that way. That's great. But the next character we have listed is Tang.
Mr. Tang.
Voiced by David Chen. And interestingly, Tang is the one minifigure that isn't on the table.
No.
Yeah, he's in the City of Lanterns. I actually have
He
one.
does
I just
not come
haven't
in
done anything.
any of the Wave 1 sets,
Yes.
which is very interesting because of how major of a role he actually plays in the show.
He's pivotal in getting Monkie Kid involved in the Monkey King
Yeah.
storyline. He's in multiple episodes. He's usually there as kind of voice of reason or helping people to talk through things. He's not as much of a physical presence, but still a good character.
Yeah.
He's probably the least physically capable of the group. Think of like a librarian, kind of like he always has some books or something. He's always enjoying a bowl of noodles. I think he's Pigsy's best customer. He'll be down there and he'll be showing off like a fun, like some of his cool stories or whatever with Monkie Kid. That's where he learned a lot of the Monkey King story. But yeah, Tang is pretty funny. He's definitely the more subtle of the group. Like he's exactly what you described. Very peaceful. Not a lot happens with him, but he's definitely very caring, and he's also very attentive to people.
Very funny too.
Very funny.
Yeah.
Very funny. He's got those dry humor jokes that pop up. So.
What do you think about Tang?
I really like Tang. I'm very upset that we didn't get one for Wave 1, especially in the team boat.
He should have been in the team boat. Yeah, come on.
Because he definitely should be in here when we have everybody else. But I think he's a fun character. He like everybody else is like Sandy's like this river troll. You know, Pigsy's a pig man. May is a descendant of dragons.
Princess Dragon.
Yeah, you know, Monkey Kid's got the Monkey King's
staff,
power.
yeah.
And then Tang's just like
Just a
this
normal
guy.
dude.
He's just this dude who
He's
hangs
the
out with everybody.
C-3PO of the group.
And
Yeah,
like
that's
it's a cool like contrast, but also like, you know, I can kind of see like that Tang's this character who's going to deal with like feeling left out, I think, and feeling like he's not contributing or something. So I think Tang's going to like we're going to see a lot more of him probably in the next season.
Yeah.
I think so. Hope so.
Minor spoilers, but Tang is according to the lore, he's the reincarnation of the Golden Cicada,
Yes.
who was a character that
Of the
lived, that journeyed with the original Monkey King storyline. So that's how he knows all this stuff is from his previous life as a little insect.
He was there too. Yeah.
So he might have a lot of story to flesh out.
Sort of a Jiminy Cricket character, isn't he? A little bit.
From what I've picked up on it, like, you know, obviously, like, some river troll guy, a pig man, That's from The Journey to the West.
Yeah,
exactly.
The characters from The Journey to the West are the Monkey King, there's the Great Monk, there's I forget what the pig's name is.
I think Tang is the Great Monk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, there's a pig man and there's a river demon.
Yeah.
A river spirit. I think,
so all of these characters
mythological characters,
are meant to be the new age version of those guys.
or a modernized version, yeah.
But we haven't seen Tang do anything like that yet.
No. And not in the first season, but we all of us haven't really seen
funny.
the next season.
Tang's he's hilarious.
Good character. Maybe just a little slept on the first season.
I think a little bit sometimes.
But then we get to a character I was blown away by, but it's the Monkey King, Sun Wukong.
Oh!
Are you talking about Goku?
Yeah, are we talking about Goku?
You mean
need to address the elephant in the room
Dragon
right
Ball
now.
Z?
Sean Schemmel, I believe his name. Yep. And he is the voice of Goku.
He is the
And
voice
has
of
been
Goku.
the voice of Goku for forever.
Since the
in
beginning.
everything. Yeah, he has...
The English dub.
Yeah. And so all the TV shows involving Goku, video games involving Goku, there's hundreds of them. And he's also done a number of other things, including, did you realize he was the voice of Makuta in a Bionicle video?
He also is the voice of Sun Wukong in the Smite video game.
Yes.
Man.
So he's done a lot of cool voice acting.
He started voicing Goku and then was like, I'm just going to only be the Monkey King now.
Yeah, only really cool roles.
Only going to be that Journey to the West character,
Anyway,
born for the role, really.
he actually, all the other voices are fantastic, but I mean, his was especially good. It just really worked.
Not only is he a phenomenal voice actor, he's been doing it for over 20 years, but I'm really glad that he decided to just do the Goku voice.
Just did Goku.
He's a normal talking voice, I'm guessing.
The first episode, he I could tell he was kind of trying to not sound like Goku, but still kind of trying to. And then by
eventually just
by
episode
2, he was like, "This character is Goku. That's what's happening
it's essentially
now."
what it is. Well, we're semi-retired Goku.
Yeah.
But this guy was my favorite. If I wanted to collect a fig, he would be the first one, and he started out as a series minifig. But the Monkey King, oh my word, his action sequences are all perfect. He's got a great sense of humor. He's this wise mentor, but he's also not like that. He's not like Vitruvius. He's nothing like Vitruvius. He's his own deal. And it was just so epic. I'm not even that big of a Dragon Ball fan, but to hear him just that's Goku as a Lego guy. That's weird.
The gravitas.
Well,
it's interesting watching a Lego show and then hearing Goku be like, "What's up, bud?"
Hey man, how you doing? And stuff like that.
Hey, Goku.
Perfectly casual, perfectly wise, a little lazy, a little mischievous.
Yeah, the character in the Monkey King, as far as I'm aware, is very much total left field. He goes, he does whatever he wants, multidimensional, almost bipolar. Does whatever he wants, goes crazy, has fun. He's always trying to have fun.
He definitely wasn't given his staff.
No,
stole
definitely
that
not,
thing.
He stole most of his fun stuff that he uses in battle. But wow, was he fun. The voice acting was so good. There was a couple episodes that really featured the Monkey King that were some of the best in the season.
Yeah.
His battle noises, are so professionally done. It was kind of insane.
Kind of mind-blowing.
It was
They're
mind-blowing.
coming from a guy
this
who's been
is great.
screaming professionally for 20 years in Dragon Ball.
Even if you had no, let's be realistic, even if you had no experience with Dragon Ball, no experience with all this other
it's
prior
amazing
work,
voice acting.
it was still fantastic voice acting. Even if you don't have all the backstory and all the history behind this guy's voice, even if you don't have that, it was still extremely entertaining to see him.
Yeah. It was also crazy to know that he's done some Lego-related projects in the past.
That is cool.
That's wild. From Bionicle lore?
Makuta.
I didn't even know
and
that.
a Lego Scooby-Doo short video direct-to-DVD.
That's
he
cool.
was Treasure Hunter 2 or something.
Let's not dilute this character, please. Let's not dilute him.
No. He's done so much, but the fact that he's been in random Lego things every now and then.
That's interesting.
Somebody had his number and called him up.
Somebody
for this
knew.
role.
Did I forget to grab my Monkey King fig? I did.
It's okay.
Oh well.
We'll throw up a picture. It's fine.
It's a great fig.
Got a
The
giant
one
mech.
that comes with the Monkey King mech is my favorite. It comes with the cloud nimbus he's riding.
Yes, his little
Super
cloud that he
cool.
rides along.
Yeah, that was so
Super cool.
sad.
What a
Such
great character.
Great battle scene.
But those are all the good guys. Let's break it down with some bad guys here.
Okay.
just as entertaining as the protagonist.
yeah.
I think the first character to show up was actually the Demon Bull King.
Yes.
Right out of the gate, destroying the entire world, and he gets a mountain dropped in his head by Monkey King. What do you think, Garrett? What was the Demon Bull King to you?
He's cool, man.
Yeah.
The Demon Bull King is really cool. Did you get his voice actor?
Let's see. I don't have that written down.
It is oh god, what's his name? Sean Blum, I think.
Yes.
But he is the voice for Spike Spiegel from Cowboy Bebop.
Yes.
Another one of my favorite animes.
Okay.
So that's really cool. He's also done a bunch of other voice acting.
I think he's
work.
done Naruto and other things. Yes.
But Demon Bull King is
all
honestly
the franchises.
a really cool character. He's just this hulking, mindless beast in the beginning. I think his first lines are just.
I'm going to destroy the world!
I will peel the flesh from your bones!
There's so many roaring, and it never gets
But
old.
he's a really cool design. I wish we would have gotten a big fig of him.
Yes.
Or a specially molded piece of him.
Mm-hmm.
Because he is really cool, and he was in way more of Season 1 than I expected him to be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He was the antagonist of Season 1. So.
But he's really cool. I hope we see more of him, because definitely in this season, at the end, there's a little bit of kind of a redemption arc for him. It kind of seemed like
a little bit, yeah.
Where he was
becoming more sympathetic.
Yeah, he was possessed, and they actually
went on a rampage.
Him. But this first season, he definitely is just this mindless, want to control the world type entity, which works for a demon bull king, I would say.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. He fits his role pretty well, but in a nice, a well executed way. It's not too predictable. It's not too
not at all
simplistic.
Yeah. He does everything he needs to do. Mm-hmm. I'm really disappointed. I echo everything Garrett said, but I'm really disappointed that we didn't get as much as I like the mech. And mechs, I should say plural.
Multiple sizes.
I'm pretty bummed that we didn't get a big fig like Sandy. Because he would be perfect. He's about that size when he's not all powered up. Mm-hmm. Obviously, he's a bit larger.
Yeah.
But
I think that's the reason.
I was pretty upset that they're realizing, looking back, I'm like, why didn't they make him a big fig?
I would say, price-wise was probably the main thing.
Probably.
But, I don't think he would be double the size of a big fig, I think.
Yeah. Realistically, yes, but
I don't have that set with us, the Flaming Foundry.
He's about so big.
Yeah. There is a minifig scaled buildable Demon Bull King. It's made out of just parts, but it's about that big.
Mm-hmm. It's fine.
It
works.
I
like big figs. There's not enough of them in my opinion. So, but yeah, that was my only complaint. But yeah, a super fun character. Again, good voice acting and a lot of yelling and stuff. We'll get into the sympathetic side when we get into his other two family members, but yeah, he was really fun, really entertaining.
My favorite moment is when he has the shoes.
Oh yes, the shoes!
What's better than limited edition?
That was interesting.
One
he
of
kept
a
having
kind.
Beelzebub shoes or whatever they were. Yeah, he had to collect rare things. Oh my word, this felt like such a little laugh at the community for collecting rare stuff.
Yeah.
Oh my word, because he would the rarer the item he would consume, the more powerful he would become, kind of thing. So he was going out collecting limited edition. Yes, collecting limited edition random things, and I'm like, this is a Lego collector. I've seen this exact thing at the store.
Or like a shoe collector or
a watch collector or a shoe collector or a fashion collector.
I do really like that he was I need to find something rare and expensive. And his first stop was, let me go get some one-of-a-kind Yeezys.
Yeah, or Nikes or whatever.
Yeah. Off-brand Yeezys, yeah.
I mean, it was hilarious.
Great character.
So funny. I've never seen that in a villain.
One thing that confused me about the Demon Bull King was his relationship with the Princess Iron Fan.
Yes.
They're married.
They're married.
Yeah, together they have a son.
Yes.
Which is always a little confusing. You're taking roots from these mythological stories, and that's where it's coming from.
I want to say stepdad, but I don't know.
No.
Yeah. Anyway, Princess Iron Fan is the next character we'll talk about. She was pretty interesting. She had a kind of menacing presence, but also a motherly presence too. She kind of likes her son, but doesn't she's oh, you idiot. Sometimes
there's family
silly,
in there
useless
somewhere.
boy.
Yeah. There's family in there somewhere, but there's a lot of villainy.
There's world domination first, family second.
Yeah.
I was almost getting if you remember,
she's right over there.
Yeah. I was almost getting a little bit of she's the most competent of the group, I think, for the three villains. I think.
Yeah.
The Demon Bull King is too busy plotting a little bit. Red Sun is always goofing up, and she's actually getting stuff done.
She's too Demon Bull King's too rage filled.
Yeah, he's too
Red Sun
too
is
clumsy.
just trying to impress Demon Bull King
all the time, and then she's actually getting things done.
do this.
So I was almost getting a Shigo vibe from Kim Possible a little bit, if you remember that. And Dr. Draken I got a lot of Red Sun from Draken a little bit, just a tiny bit.
Evil power couple.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, that weird family dynamic that somehow works and is somehow dangerous. Yeah. So yeah, she was definitely very, very fun, and yeah, probably the most competent of the group. Who voice actor? Was there anything special?
I don't have any of the villain voice characters written, but
she also was a very good voice actor.
All of them are very talented.
It's very fun. Definitely a very important part of the show.
I do like how we saw in the show through the first season, Red Sun got his butt kicked constantly. Demon Bull King got beat up about twice.
Yeah.
But she never
Lady Iron Fan got in 3 or 4 fights.
Yeah, and never had a problem.
Always got away.
I noticed too, she never fought with more than one hand.
Yeah.
There's one scene where she's literally fighting them like this with her staff.
As if she was sort of dancing.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Well, her fan can control the wind.
Yeah.
And like where it's going, what
Speaking
happens.
of that,
she's an evil airbender.
I gotta pull
Great
this up.
piece.
I mean, that's something about Monkie Kid you'll see in a lot of these sets. These metallic vinyl pieces come in a lot of the sets.
Normally I'd hate that, but
And
here it works perfectly.
God, they look so cool. I love these pieces, and for this weapon, I think that's the only way you could do it.
Yeah.
She also is just probably one of the best translated figs as well, I would say.
Fantastic hairpiece.
The hairpiece is amazing. I love the printed little bull on it. I like her alternate face too with the red eyes. It's
In
really
brand.
good.
Very on brand, yeah.
So,
Great figure. But yeah, and good character too. But I think one of my favorite villain character was good. It's got to be Red Sun.
Yeah.
He's over here. Let's get him out and look at him. But
Little boy!
Garrett, what'd you think about Red Sun when you first saw the show and when you watched it with us?
man, Red Sun is... He's a funny character. He's this, like, at first, he's kind of menacing. And he's like, he's made a device. He's made this gauntlet that
stop the staff.
It allows him to wield the Monkey King's staff, which is like this. That's essentially like picking up Thor's hammer.
Yeah.
Or the Excalibur.
Yeah. So like that's a crazy feat right there. And then just throughout each episode, he just is more incompetent and just keeps messing up.
Unraveling.
Worse luck, yeah.
He just is constantly just getting
Wrong
beat
place
up,
at the wrong time.
letting his father, the Bull King, down. But fig-wise, I think he's a really, really cool fig. I love, getting the waistcoat. I love his hairpiece.
Yes.
His hairpiece is so cool. Because he's got, like, this man bun that's like a flame, almost. Really cool, but, I mean, he's probably one of the funniest characters. The whole, Noodle Boy!
Noodle Boy! The moment I saw this guy, I knew he was going to be one of the best villains in the story because of just how, first of all, voice acting, again, amazing.
Yeah.
I don't know who voices him, but he did a fantastic job. The design of the character is really, like, he goes on fire and stuff. He's super animated, like, literally animated. What was it? Oh, yeah. He's actually pretty dangerous. He's not just like a guy who screams at his henchmen all the time.
Yeah.
He actually can get in there and throw down a little bit.
It's not his own fault that he's always constantly thwarted.
Which is even more funny because he's got some capability, but he keeps messing up. Like you're kind of like, is he actually going to do this a little bit? One thing I noticed, it was in the weather one, where all the clones, the bull clones have been wiped out and Monkey Kid's left. And he's like, hey, you want to fight? And then he kind of like swings around a little bit and then goes into this MMA fight, like style karate almost thing. I don't do MMA or karate or whatever, but I did some boxing, and I'm seeing like ducking and positioning and stuff like that. They're fighting correctly. Him and Monkey Kid, and Monkey Kid's kind of like, whoa. The fighting choreography was really good. Like he knows things, like he knows how to actually fight in this show.
That fight scene alone was really cool because he was like teleporting.
So cool.
And stuff.
He was teleporting, jumping around, so he's entertaining to watch in a fight, but also entertaining to watch when he loses because it's just so fun. The Demon Vulcan keeps trusting him over and over and keeps letting him down.
Father, let me go do this.
Let me try, like, again. Let me go get him again.
Father, allow me.
Allow me. He's almost competing with his mom for dad's attention, almost. I was thinking about it during the show. I'm probably reading too much into it. I wonder if Demon Bull King is allowing him to go do it, even though he knows better than to trust his son to do this.
He just wants his son to feel good?
No, just to try to get him to, like, become something. Like, to kind of, like, let him go stretch his wings. I wonder if that's the case. But the family dynamic is always hilarious, and it gets kind of, like when he almost hurts them, they have to team up against, spoilers, they have to team up against Demon Bull King for a bit. And when that's all over, done with, they're all like, oh, hey, you're okay. Like they're almost this togetherness. Like
they're a family.
It's a family, and you kind of root for that a little bit. So there's a lot happening with these villains, and I like that. Red
Sun is such a multifaceted character and so enjoyable on so many levels. A great addition to the show.
When I think about him, I think about that scene where he like he stole that key, the skeleton key, and he's driving away in his big truck, and he's just hanging out the window listening to smooth jazz.
Exactly. Who else can pull that off? It's great. But love the entire Bull family. They're great. But there's a couple other villains that really showed up kind of briefly, or like maybe an episode, or even
maybe
barely.
one episode.
Let's really quickly go over the Gold and Silver Demons.
Yep.
Very cool looking characters, funny dynamic, and they tried to stop Monkey Kid by capturing him in the what was it?
The calabash.
That's the name.
The Matrix.
We got to trick Monkey Kid in a calabash. That's how they sound.
Yeah, and they failed spectacularly, but it was a great episode. And they show up a little bit later with the race, too.
Yeah.
That was pretty funny.
What did you think about those two, really quick?
They were okay. I felt like they were underutilized. Probably my least favorite villains, not to be too
Just
hard
barely
on them.
introduced.
Mm-hmm.
Barely introduced, barely got to see them. Voice acting was pretty good. The Cockney accents were clearly done by Americans doing Cockney accents. But they were entertaining enough.
What's all this done?
Yeah, I was getting, what's his name? From Mary Poppins, Bert. I was getting Bert a little bit, a little vibes of that with the voice specifically.
It's a stereotype.
Yeah, it's a stereotype. Not bad. Fun design, fun concepts with them, but pretty underutilized. I wanted to see more what they could do.
I think we'll see more later.
We got to
too.
see a lot of the family, the Demon Bull family.
Yeah.
But we barely got to see the Yin and Yang guys. So
That might also kind of go back to the short episodes, too. You
Very
don't
short.
have that much time to have a really fleshed out story for
Yeah.
everyone. They're trying to make sure all the main characters are covered, and they might have been...
We got 45 minutes with Demon Bull King in the first episode.
and it was great.
So
Yeah,
that's
a lot
probably
of
why
Demon
we have a
King,
lot
yeah.
more to say with him.
Yeah. And then, Garrett, you actually are soon to get these figures. They're not here on the table yet, but...
I was hoping they would be here today for the video, but I do have that set that is coming. That's the Cloud Roadster. That's another set that's missing from here.
Oh yeah.
But they came only in that set. They have never been re-released since. I think they're the funniest villains.
Yeah.
that
They're
we
the
have.
funniest?
Oh
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
I think they're great. I really like their designs. I love the like special like headpiece they have with the like long straight hair and the horns.
Yes, a very cool
It's a
mold.
really cool mold. It's only ever been used on them. But each of those figs now is close to like $60. They're definitely the most expensive
That's a lot.
Monkey Kid figs.
That's a lot, yeah.
But I agree with you guys. I don't think they were utilized as much as maybe they could have been in the first season. Maybe
Even though we saw them twice.
Maybe we'll see more of them, but they also didn't do anything, and I think that's kind of their purpose.
Yeah, they don't do much.
They're just a roadblock,
They're
basically.
these...
tricksters.
that they like maybe introduced in the beginning of an episode as like, oh god, there's a major threat happening, and then it's like, oh wait, no, it's just the gold and silver
Because when
demons.
Monkey Kid wanted to fight them, they're like,
They ran away.
Ran immediately.
They knew
we are
better.
not throwing down.
He was like, all right, I'm ready for a fight, and then he looks back over at them, and they're not there. They're
Yeah,
like
they're like-
walking out the door.
yeah, like the curtains are blowing in the wind as they're disappearing. Yeah.
I think they were really funny, but yeah, I hope we see more of them.
I think we will, or at the very least, we'll see them appear every now and then as they.
Yeah,
I'm
as
curious
they-
what they're gonna do with them.
Joke characters.
One character we will definitely see in season 2 is the Spider Queen. and
Yes.
she got a whole episode.
Yeah.
Just one episode, but they've done spider characters before. But she was surprisingly
That was a really
menacing.
good episode, too.
Surprisingly menacing.
Terrifying.
Like, oh, this
And
is.
Pigsy needed it.
Pigsy.
Yeah,
this
Pigsy
man.
needed it. Oh, poor Pigsy.
So
yeah.
we're gonna. I need to explain this. So everybody's on board with us.
Oh,
so
boy.
the Spider Queen episode started out with Pigsy and Tang walking around like a
Shopping.
market, like a farmer's market,
grabbing stuff,
and
grabbing supplies, and
grabbing
groceries,
vegetables and stuff for the restaurant. And Spider Queen, which we don't know it's a Spider Queen yet. She's
Looks like a normal fig.
"Oh, Mr. Pig, come on over here." Mm-hmm. She's talking like a Southern belle, and then
Lures him in.
yeah, she's like, "How about you buy some of my vegetables that I have in the back?" And Pigsy's like got hearts in his eyes, and Tank's like, "This is obviously like
This is
super
ridiculous.
sketchy.
This is sus,
Like,
man.
We should not
We
be
need to
here,
get outta
man."
here.
And he like grabs Tang, and he's like, "I need this, man. I need this."
And then they fall down the trap door, and then it's all over.
Then they get
yeah.
captured, of course.
Yeah, of course they get captured.
But
right
it was
after.
so funny. But character wise, like you said, you were talking about competent villains earlier. And like she like had a plan and was like
She was dangerous.
she almost beat Monkey Kid in that.
She caught them all except
Yeah.
Monkey Kid for a little
Yeah.
bit.
Almost beat him.
Yeah, that was surprising.
And that was like one thing. Like he's scared of spiders. He can't deal with spiders. And so like
Giant Spider Lady.
Yeah,
that
Spider,
just
yeah.
about did it.
Yeah.
I think she's really cool. I cannot wait to see more of her because I know we're going to see more of her.
She's the big bad of season 2 from what
Yeah.
I'm gathering, so it'll be exciting to see that. We'll talk about that in the next episode. Of this.
She had probably some of my favorite voice acting too, villain wise.
Oh, she's great. Yeah,
Yeah.
she's great.
I forget what that that actress's name is, but she's done some other stuff.
Yep.
Yeah. But I noticed she wasn't that comical. Like, there was very little laughs.
No.
Unless it was from Pigsy and Tang.
Yeah.
That they were funny in this episode. But she wasn't nearly as funny as, like, Red Sun or
little more
whatever.
serious.
Like, definitely more serious, yeah. Good villain. Good scary villain.
And towards the end of the season, we got to see a very brief interaction with the ghost that inhabits and possesses this little girl, which is probably the most
That was
terrifying
horrifying. That was messed up. That was scary.
Like, very scary. But this is the Lady Bone Demon, and she shows up for all of like 10 seconds, not even. And so that is probably leading up to season 3, I'm guessing,
or something.
I would
assume 2 or maybe they team up or something. Yeah,
I know that the Spider Queen is like pretty much most of season 2.
Yeah,
but
so Bone Demon is probably 3.
But all I know is we've been introduced to another very frightening character. We don't have much to talk about there, but looking forward to it. Right?
Yeah, barely. It's barely a cameo.
From what we saw of it, it's essentially this gaseous, just like entity.
It's like a ghost
that was like floating around
smoke,
and just like whispering and like whimmering, like making these scary noises.
Yeah.
And then there's this like little girl who's like trying to get her cat from an alleyway,
and she gets like,
and this like ghost spirit just goes in her mouth, and she's like,
it's kind of freaky.
and her body contorts, and then she's. I'm
Her
assuming
eyes
the
glow,
Bone Demon.
her eyes glow.
Her hair turned white.
That was freaky. I hope they help that poor kid.
So,
For crying out loud.
I don't know if we just watched the Lady Bone Demon kill a kid in a Lego show.
Yeah, I don't know. Sorry for spoilers,
what?
by the way.
This is a spoiler episode. Like, if you're watching this,
This has been out for like 4 years now. You should have watched this. But
I'm really excited about that villain.
Yeah.
But that wasn't even the most like powerful evil villain to be found, because the 6-eared macaque showed up towards the end of the season.
Super cool.
Awesome.
And the ultimate boss battle. I mean, the bone.
So
I mean,
that was the main, like the big fight of the season.
Demon Bull King is awesome, but he's relatively defeatable.
Yes.
The evil macaque shows
That's
up,
different.
and he is as smart as the Monkey
And
King.
he's strong.
And
He's like
almost as strong.
The literal parallel
and
of it.
really evil. So
It's like Goku Black.
Same
thing, yeah.
So what did you guys think of the macaque? Take a minute and talk about it. Steve, what were your
Okay, the
thoughts?
voice acting was really good. I believe that actor has passed away though, which is sad.
Yes,
I
he
believe
did.
he actually passed away not long ago, which is tragic.
Well, I think it was last year.
Yeah, rest in peace. But let's talk about that performance. Holy moly, he was cool. He's like the easy shortcut way, you know, like go take the easy path.
Sign this contract.
Sign this contract, you know. He had a really good aesthetic. By far the best fighter out of all the villains, by far. And his throwdown with the Monkey King and Monkey Kid was
legendary.
Oh, so smart the way he gets the upper hand. It was all so well thought through. Like his character design was really fun. His minifigure looks really good. You get to see his mech. But I know that he does he come back in season 2
and 3, I believe. Yeah.
He didn't show up for very long, kind of like the Spider Queen, similar runtime, similar time of appearance.
He essentially just had an episode dedicated to him.
Yeah, he wasn't as scary, but he was so cool. Like he that was his idea too. He wanted to be like the easy route, like this appealing, like get rich quick scheme, essentially.
Yeah.
And
there's a reason why you shouldn't just go join him, because it sounds super easy, right?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, I can get what I want, like right now, that kind of thing. But he was kind of like Monkey Kid's shadow. Like he actually even kind of references him. I don't know if that's from the Journey of the West story, but the Monkey Kid, like, aren't you tired of being my shadow or something like that? So maybe there's a dynamic there we don't know about. But definitely super entertaining, super comic. He could wipe the floor with all the villains if he wanted to. Really terrifying.
He's got some amazing powers. He can multiply himself at will.
He can do anything the Monkey Kid can.
Turn into somebody else for a moment and switch around.
Shape shift a bit.
Produce a giant ghost to fight.
He seems to kind of just have like control over shadows and stuff.
Yeah, very entertaining. Cool dynamic, cool powers. Just great villain. Probably my favorite out of the bunch was the macaque.
Yeah. Anything to add, Garrett?
You ready for my theory on him?
I'd love to hear it.
I think so. You remember the duplication episode where Monkey Kid is learning how to make clones of himself, and he makes all the evil clones, the party clone.
Well, they start to go crazy on time. Yeah,
great episode.
Yeah, I think that the evil macaque may be a clone of the Monkey King that he could not get rid of.
Wow, interesting.
So
maybe.
I think that could be something there. But overall, he was a really cool villain. I liked how he's introduced and MK's like, "Oh, what's up, Monkey King?" And he's like, "Oh, wait a second. Not the Monkey
You're not
King.
the Monkey King." No.
Yeah, and then he's slowly trains MK, and he's like, "You could use all of your power. You go just unleash it all, blah 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 blah." And he kind of takes him on this evil training arc, and it was really cool.
Yeah.
But then also, his fight with Monkey King was really really cool.
Yeah,
it was literally like Goku versus Vegeta.
It really
Season
was.
1 of Dragon Ball.
So
it was so
amazing.
awesome.
It's almost like the prophesied
It felt
battle.
like the stakes were high, too. The fights always feel like they're really lighthearted, but also like there's something going
that
on,
one,
too.
literally, he stole all of, like, MK's power.
Basically.
He, like, tricked him into...
Or he thought he stole all of it.
Yeah.
So.
He, like, deceived him into, like, taking all of it. So, like, it was, like, a serious, like, battle. And, like, that was, like, the first time we really saw, like, Monkey King, like, fight since retirement.
And kind of, like, look a little nervous about it, too. So.
Yeah. Oh, he looked competent, but also, like, this is a serious threat you deal with, yeah.
And then,
because you'd always hear about them. Oh, you saw the fight with the Demon Bone King at the start.
At the beginning.
But the Demon Bone King didn't really stand a chance. Like, let's be honest. But, like, as you go on, you see him teach him, you see him, like, do a few little feats of strength that are pretty impressive. But you never see him really throw down or, like, they're sweating and you feel the impacts. It was just,
that fight also showed a cool dynamic between, like, MK and the Monkey King. Because, like, Macaque in that whole fight, he's like, what, just because you're scared of hurting this kid, you won't fight me? You would have leveled this whole mountain by now.
That's the line, yeah.
It's like, oh, it's like, okay, there's a cool, like, relationship happening here.
That's pretty fun. So, yeah, it shows how much that Monkey King cares about Monkey Kid. It's a great episode for sure.
But I wonder if, like, was, like, Macaque jealous of that, maybe?
I think so.
Maybe.
There's a lot more to explore in further seasons.
Maybe maybe Monkey King tried to teach him the first time. It didn't work, you know, maybe.
I think there's a lot of backstory to
Failed
reveal.
student. There's a lot you could come up with.
I like your shadow theory, though, Garrett. Pretty interesting.
That episode stuck out to me where, like, he didn't know how to get rid of his clone, so it's like, maybe Monkey King did that first, too, and was like, I don't know how to get rid of this one, and he just got more evil and evil.
Maybe.
Yeah. And he's also just as powerful.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, a great show, and overall, lots of great elements captured on the table in front of us. We won't, like, go too much into detail since we've already talked about a number of them, but what are some of the highlights for you, Garrett, having collected them? And then we'll talk about what me and Steven are hoping to collect in the future. What are some of your favorites here?
So, just to start off, this was, like, the food truck is one that I never, like, envisioned getting, because, like, I was just going to stick with, like, the big mechs, because, like, I like Bionicle, I like big creature type
action
thing.
Figures, gun games,
and so like, you know, I had no interest in a food truck, but this thing is huge. I mean, you can see it, like, size wise in my hands. This is
massive.
Like not a Lego, like, city scale
That's
food
like a
truck.
14 wide, not an 8 wide.
This thing is awesome. It's got a big, like, bash bar on front that lowers down. You've got the pig cannon on top, which is just super funny. You can open up both sides of it to see inside. You've got, like, a little restaurant in there.
Look at all that.
Yeah, I mean, you have a whole restaurant in there.
That's crazy.
So,
it's awesome.
It's a really cool set, and it's still honestly pretty affordable for what it is. You do get that as well with this set.
Very important part of the story.
You gotta have the tut-tut.
Yeah, the tut-tut.
That one's really cool.
And it fires too.
That one's really cool. All the Demon Bull stuff, I really like.
Color scheme, right?
Originally was just going to get the Demon Bull King, and then I was like, well, you have to have some of, like, his army with
The bad
him.
guys, yeah.
So, you know, this is, like, probably my least favorite of like, the Demon Bull vehicles.
Yep.
This kind of reminds me of, like, a Nexo Knight, like,
I get a little Nexo Knight vibe there.
I do really like the feature of the
Dropping
toxic
the
barrels coming out. Pretty cool.
That's cool.
So, that's a cool set. Red Sun's truck is amazing. This probably is, like, my favorite of the Demon Bull vehicles. I've loaded mine up with tons of clones. I think I have, like,
really
I think I have 19 of them on here or something.
Yeah, they look great in a group too. It's so fun.
So I've got a bunch of those guys, but this has probably one of my favorite, like, play features of any set from Monkie Kid. I love this. You have two vehicles essentially. You have the big truck, and then you can lift this to make the guy up here drive, and then you have a separate race car that launches out from the vehicle. And especially in the show, Red Sun goes, "What, do you think I wouldn't drive any vehicle without one complex transformation?" And it's like,
at least one.
That's pretty good.
Exactly.
That's a great set. The boat was a big surprise. The
it
boat
opens
was a big
up.
one.
I have B-roll of that, so we don't have to do that here, but it has all rooms inside.
The boat was a big surprise. It's really cool. It's
colorful.
Yeah, I mean, it stands out. You know, you get most of the main characters except Tang, which you should get Tang. If you're gonna get any Monkey King set or Monkey Kid set from the first wave,
get the mech.
Get the mech.
Get the super mech. I got you.
That staff is huge. This is, I mean, easily the best Lego mech that has ever been made. It is unreal. You have, I mean, I don't even know how many new drum lacquered gold elements they made for this set. I want to say it was close to 20.
Yeah, metallic gold all over.
I mean, you get the big fabric cape. These vinyl waist cape pieces are so cool. Both the arms are posable. You've got ball joints at the elbows. You've got at the wrist. You've got them at the shoulders. You've
adjustable
got
arm pieces.
Yeah.
Here.
A lot of people talk about this set not having knees. It does have knees. You just have 2 ball joints back here that you can pop out and then be on a single one. It's a really well thought out mech. And it's it's like a stunning display piece.
This is what the Hulkbuster should have been.
Yeah,
This is what it should have been.
If you're interested in any Monkey King stuff, I would recommend trying to track this one down. It's got to be one of the coolest ones out there.
And we've got this one here for sale at the store too.
Yes,
so
but you're probably gonna buy it.
I'm going to be getting at least one of
There's
them.
2 of them
right now. Yeah. So.
Yep. And then next I would get would probably be Demon Bull King. It is a really cool one.
I don't see this one as much in the store.
You don't see him as often. Press that button on the back. He does. This is the one set from the first wave of the Light Brick.
Nice.
And this is meant to represent like the
furnace.
The furnace he had in his chest to absorb all those rare items.
All those sneakers.
What's cool about this set too is this is not meant to be Demon Bull King's mech
It's
or
him.
a Demon Bull robot. This is the Demon Bull King, like mutated when he absorbed the Monkey King's staff.
He's kind of a cyborg as it is.
Well,
right?
what's cool if you look on the front, there's some stickered elements that are like his flesh, like peeling away.
Oh,
and,
like a zombie.
Yeah,
That's cool.
which is really cool.
Zombie Bull King demon.
So I mean, the first wave of Monkey Kid is really surprising. I think the later waves do have maybe more interesting, maybe more standout sets. Mm-hmm. But I mean, overall,
solid start,
for a brand new, originally licensed theme. What a standout wave! I mean, it's really impressive, along with the show to go with it.
Exactly. Yeah, and I think the show really adds the context. Like, after seeing that, every single person in that room was like, "Now I have to buy all the Monkey Kid stuff because it looks
people
great."
Who only like Ian only collects Star Wars. He's like, I need all the Monkey Kid sets.
Exactly.
I wouldn't have liked this set as much, the food truck, if I didn't watch the show. Mm-hmm. But after watching the show and seeing like all the characters crammed in the food truck, like racing to go fight the Demon Bull King, and they lower down this and bash through like 50 guys, like it's cool.
Yeah. It's a necessary purchase after watching the show if you like Lego and like these characters and enjoy this theme. But man, what an amazing theme that nobody really talks about or knows about here in the United States or elsewhere, really.
Lego said they didn't need us to buy it.
Yeah, well, actually, I think they're pretty happy selling it over in Asia. I think it's doing pretty well.
It makes us sad because we want to buy this.
I know this thing was kind of like they tried selling it in stores and it just didn't do so well. They sailed it out, and now they just don't really bring it out here as much.
We can't have nice things.
It's too bad, but here at Let It Brick Co, we still get these every now and then. That's why you got all of them, Garrett. And we'll be keeping our eyes out for the ones we want, Steven. I know I've got to get the 2 big mechs and get some of the figures. Yeah, you want to get a lot of the characters. You already have the boat. You can fix that up. So, yeah. Well, I think that's about our list today, guys. Well, thank you so much for all your thoughts and opinions. Hearing about this show has gotten me excited for season 2. We'll be doing 100%. That again.
Got to do another
month or so. We'll have that out, and we'll keep up with it, guys. But yeah, appreciate you all. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We'll be doing more awesome videos like this. Monkey Kid Part 2.
Yeah, that will be a thing.
Yeah, subscribe for that, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.
Oh, and please go watch that Monkey Kid show.
Yes.
Don't just take our word for it. Go see it. It's on Amazon. Where else can you watch it?
I know you can see it on Amazon. I don't know anywhere else because it did seem like it was an original.
3 and 4 on Happy Kids?
Yes, that's what it is. That's where I've known to watch them. It's a kid-friendly...
It's a baby app.
Yeah, streaming app. And it's a little hard to navigate, but once you find it, it is there.
So it's there. You can actually see it.
Amazon Prime and
that's where season
Happy
1 and 2
Kids.
are.
Yeah. So
there you go.
Alrighty. We'll see you guys.
Get your monkey on.